how I created my newest tech house song, which is currently unreleased. So to start with the drums, you want to find a good punchy kick that you can have playing throughout. You can have some variation to this, but I like to keep mine simple so it's nice and punchy. You then want a open hi-hat on the offbeat, and you also want a closed hi-hat every few bars, just so that they can go together, so all three together sound like this. And to top it all off, as a nice drum loop, you want a clap. What I did was I added a fruity delay to give the second clap effect on each second clap here. And then what I did is I went and added a quite a up-tempo top loop. With this, you don't want the volume too high, you want it quite low, just to be able to have it in the background so people can still hear it, but it also adds to that extra texture to the loop. Also, for your clap, if it's too heavy, take some of this out, and that means that it reduces what's coming out so it sounds more snappy. And then finally, to finish off the whole drum pattern, I added this simple top loop which sounds like this. I also took the volume of that down slightly, so altogether the drum loop should sound something like this.
Shut them off and come to bed. I don't wanna.
So moving on to the bass, I have a Serum preset open, which sounds like this. Took some time and arranged a pattern which sounds like this. So what I did was I added some sidechain to it, so on the drop it allowed some room for that kick to be able to punch through. I also added some sound goodizer, bit of reverb, not too much because you don't want the bass to be hanging on, and some fruity EQ just to allow it to give that extra room in. Next I decided to add a bit of a synth which sounded like this, and I just had an idea that I could add this on top just to give that little bit of extra like feel to the song. Using the same sort of notes as the bass so it doesn't sound too out of character, but giving it a different variation, so altogether they sound like this. As you can see here on both the automations, this is the side chaining, so that before the song I still have a good punch on the lead up with the synth, but then as we come into the drop I allow room for other things to come through so it's not overpowering. I then also added a few little things into the drop just so there was a bit of variation and a bit more, make it a bit more interesting. So once all that was added, I decided to add extra little bits just so I could make some sort of difference in the song. So I added a snare, a crash, and this sort of wood clacker sort of sound, which I then incorporated alongside a riser and a drum roll. I added some reverb to the riser and the drum roll just to allow them to continue on for that little bit longer. So overall, the drop, which should sound something like this. So moving on to your layout of your song, I decided that at the beginning I wanted to start off with some kicks just to keep the energy high. I also added this small vocal here. It's not too loud, but it's just enough that there's something before the song properly starts. So with arranging your song, the beginning should sound something like this. So finally I got a vocal sample which sounded like this. Find your way to him. You can find your way to him. If you're feeling lost deep inside, looking for a place to hide, come back home where you arrive. Find your way to him. I then chopped up this small part of the song so I could then add it into the drop, so I had a little bit of vocals in there to keep it interesting. It's just short and snappy, but it's enough to allow there to be some sort of variation. For that I added some EQ to it, and I took out all the low ends to allow room for the more punchy things to be able to shine through. I also added some fruity reverb. I then also added some fruity delay like this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll link my SoundCloud down below in the description. That has my 2 other songs which I've made, not this one currently because I'm going to release it soon, so make sure you follow that. And if you really did find this useful, make sure you could like and subscribe because that would really help with what I'd want to do.